Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce about myself. My name is Andi Maryam. My ID number 20400121079. I am from class PBIC. This video is to fulfill the first assignment for the Psycholinguistic for Language Teachers course given by my lecturer, Mr. Kaharudin. In my opinion, yes, there is a connection between language and the human mind, which is found in the field known as psycholinguistic. Psycholinguistic itself is a study that discusses about language and the mind, which is taken from the word psychology, the study of the soul or mind, and the linguistic, the study of language. So, psycholinguistic investigates how language is used and processed by the human brain and how language affects our thought, feeling, and behavior. Language itself is one of human tools for communicating, such as thought, knowledge, and experience, and has 5 aspects, including sounds, word, sentence, structure, meaning, and culture. According to Chomsky, there are 2 things why people speak. The first, competence, meaning knowledge about language such as human mind or LED. Second, performance, which means ability about language, for example, memory, speech organ, and so on. Language does influence the way we think, but it does not completely determine our thought. Our mind are too flexible for that, but the habit of using language can influence the habit of thinking and acting. According to Boroditsky 2001, see the result of this study as showing that language habits promote thinking habits. So, the relationship between language and the human mind is interrelated, which has been explained in the field of psycholinguistics. In my opinion, mental representation are mental images of things that are not visible to the sense. They allow us to represent things that have never been experienced as well as things that do not exist. For example, imagine yourself traveling to a place you have never been before or having a turkey head. This thing may never happen or be impossible and do not exist, but our brain and mental images allow us to imagine them. Mental process. Mental process is a term that refers to the action performed by our brain and mind that allow us to interact with the world. I think that the human mind can do naturally fall under this mental process. Common mental process include memory, emotion, perception, imagination, thinking, and reasoning. As the human mind is always in motion, mental processes are constantly relevant and influence or observe what happens in everyday life. Number 3, according to online search Collin Dictionary, psycholinguistic is the branch of linguistics that analyzes the psychological factor involved in the perception of and response to linguistic phenomena. This means that psycholinguistic is the science that analyzes the fluids of our mind that are involved in our ability to reflect language and our action towards and even that occurs to linguistic phenomena such as syntax, phonetics, phonology, morphology, semantic, and pragmatic. According to expert view, Carnham in 2013 state that psycholinguistics is the study of mental mechanisms that make it possible for people to use language. It is the study of how the mind works to make it possible for people to use language. Learning psycholinguistics can offer several advantages in the context aspects of language teaching and learning. The first, understanding language acquisition. Psycholinguistics provide numerous theories that explain how a person acquires a language, both spoken and written. The second, improving oral fluency. Psycholinguistics can help learners of English as a foreign language achieve oral fluency, a key construct closely related to the mental state or even mental health of learners. The third, developing teaching methods. Some methods have been developed based on psycholinguistic theory, such as the natural method, total physical response method, and suggestopedia method. This method applies psycholinguistic principle to how a person acquires their mother tongue or first language acquisition, learn their second or third language or second language learning, perceive a language or language perception, and produces language or language production. And the fourth, understanding difficulty in language skill. Psycholinguistics help to understand the difficulties of the four language skill. There are listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Both intrinsic difficulties and extrinsic difficulties. It also helps to explain the errors students make it in language learning. And last, creating effective learning environment. Understanding how language can be used to facilitate learning and create an effective learning environment is another advantage of psycholinguistics. In summary, psycholinguistics plays a crucial role in the understanding the process of language acquisition, production, and perception, which can greatly enhance teaching methods and learning outcomes in language education. Psycholinguistics use observation and experiment approaches to investigate various aspects of language processing and comprehension. Observational approach, in contrast to experiment, an observational approach in psycholinguistics involves describing how language naturally varies. This can include studying language use in everyday context, analyzing speech errors, or observing language development in children. Observational studies provide valuable insight into real-world language phenomena and can be the only option in certain research situations. However, they may be limited by the observer's presence and the lack of control over the context in which language is produced. An experimental approach. Experimentation is a crucial part of psycholinguistic research used to test specific claims of cause and effect. These methods can provide more precise and reliable data than observational studies, allowing researchers to make more confident conclusions about language processing. Both approaches have their strengths and limitations, and the choice between them should be driven by the research question being asked. In many cases, observation is the only option, while experimentation allows for more controlled investigation of specific language phenomena. Combining these approaches can lead to a more comprehensive understanding of psycholinguistic process and their implication for language teaching and learning.